Hi, I'm Gary Pritchard, and welcome back to the Coach's Toolbox. Today we're continuing on preseason, part 2. This is on team goal setting. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. If you don't have a final destination of where you're headed, you'll never get there. Goal setting is so important in everything that we do. First of all, goal setting builds confidence. 2, goal setting makes athletes mentally tough. When you're focused on things that you can control and you're working on effort and process rather than outcome, you are controlling things that you can control. And even, as we know, coach, you don't always win a game that you should have won, but yet you did some really good things in terms of your effort that helped improve the overall team cohesion and also the direction that the team is going in. So, what is it about team goal setting? How do we do it? Well, number 1, coach, you must have a clear vision of what you want for that team. You want to have a clear vision of how you see athletes working together. Don't see them where they are, but see them where they could be. Have a vision that's so strong that you believe in, that you can sell it to them, that you see it, feel it, taste it, you name it. You've got it. It's part of your DNA. And when you believe in it that strongly, it's going to help the athletes too. The second part about team goal setting, besides you having a vision, is to open it up to the team and find out what their expectations are and some of the goals that they have as a team. So how do you set this up? Theory's great, but let's talk practical. How do you do team goal setting? Well, the best way to do it is find some time. Take 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how big your team is, what type of team it is. Get in a classroom. Don't put it in rows like a classroom. Get it in a circle. Or if it's on the side of the field in an area, away from the parents, away from the distractions. It should be just you and the team. And what you want to do is you want to get the whiteboard out or have somebody take notes. And first of all, educate the guys on the 3 types of goals. Number 1, the big goal, the big why. Why are we doing this? Why are we here? What makes us a team? Remember, what makes a team is they all gather around some idea and they're working towards some common goal. So the big why are called outcome goals. Now it's important for you to educate your athletes on the fact that outcome goals are uncontrollable. Outcome goals are things like win the state championship, guarantee win 16 games this year, be first place in our league. Some of those things can happen, some of them can't. The season's long, there's a lot of variables there. So you cannot always control outcome goals. You can't always figure out the why. But if you have a big enough why, what we can figure out is the how. And right underneath outcome goals are what we call performance goals. Performance goals are things that actually, what are you doing when you're playing that can help you be successful towards that outcome goal. Performance goals are the things that you want your players to really be focused on. Because performance goals are controllable. Performance goals are based upon effort and attitude and things that they can control and how they're going to respond to things that happen out there. So performance goals are a really important building block for your team, and it takes a lot of pressure off of the win thing. Players that are not mentally tough that are always focused on winning. Players that are mentally tough are the ones that are focused on performance and what they can do to help make their team successful. So that's the what's. What can I do to help make it? Underneath the performance goal is the process. How? How are we going to practice that's going to make sure that we are successful with those performance ideas that are going to lead us to that big why of possibly being successful in that state championship or being over 500? So, as a coach, you get them in a circle, you start asking them about what the big why is going to be, and they'll get behind it, and you write those ideas down. You'll probably come up with one big why. Then you say, okay, now, how are we going to get to that why? What can we do? How are we going to get there? So what performance things can we do? So let's take soccer, for instance. Well, in soccer, to be more successful, we may want to keep the ball in their third of the field more than ours. We might want to win more 50-50 balls than they do in the midfield. Great. So then as a coach, you drill down and say, okay, if that's our what, how are we going to work in practice to get our what's accomplished. Those hows are called our process goals. What's the process by which we're going to practice to get those things down so well that when we perform, we're going to be more likely to be successful? So we have our outcome, the big why, our performance is our what, and our process, which is the how. So once you educated on them, now you go around and you get the guys to put ideas together and collect information and performance goals, and then drill down with the team what suggestions they have of how are we going to do those performance goals in practice. Now, coach, here's the deal. You can do this stuff and it's great, but if you don't revisit this several times during the season, it's not going to get done. What's measured, what's talked about, and what's reinforced in every practice makes the difference with goals. So this is not a sometime thing, this is an all the time thing. Once you set these goals up, everything that you plan in your practice, you should be able to question yourself and say, does this relate back to our goals for this season? Now, if you're a rec coach, it might be, we're going to have fun this year. You know, you have to gear those into the right, thing for the age and gender of your players. So, once again, putting these techniques, what we do, the application, once you've got it put together, 2 3x5 cards, they write the team goals on one side of the 3x5 cards. They keep one with them all the time, you get one of them. And we're going to revisit those 3x5 cards in our next episode. So let's review. Team goal setting, very important. Coach, you've got to have a vision. Make sure you include your players in on it. Educate them on the 3 types of goals. Understand that winning is not always controllable, so you want to be more focused not on the big why or outcome goals, but more on our performance and our process goals. Write them down. Look at them every day. Get them on 3x5 cards. Make sure the kids carry them with them and they look at them. So what gets measured gets done. We are what we repeatedly think about and do. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Coach's Toolbox.